gentlemen, welcome on my channel. So today we are talking about cost of living in Colombia. I know many of Americans or Europeans are thinking about relocating and relocating to Colombia. It's a good choice so far, but now we are looking a little bit closer to cost of living. In general, I would say you need 1,300 US dollars at least. This is my personal opinion after 9 years here in Colombia. I know you also can live probably with $1,000, but yeah, it always depends how you live. Cost of living always depends where you live and how you live. Cost of living is something so individual, and I would like to give you a tool. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's a free download on my webpage, where I compare the average city in the United States, which is Kansas, with Medellín. And Medellín is the most expensive city in Colombia, but probably also the most popular city to live with the entire springtime. And in this Excel spreadsheet, I'm going to explain you how to fill it out so that you get an individual budget, because this is very important. You know, what does it mean when I just tell you a number? So you have no idea. You need to know how much does a liter of milk cost, how much does whatever cheese costs, meat costs, how much money you have to pay for a meal in the restaurant, for a taxi, for an apartment. And there you can fill in your personal your personal needs, and then you get a number out of this, and then I will explain you or show you as example for a very low budget expat with 1,200, 1,300 US dollars. How does such a budget looks like? So now I would like to explain you shortly the Excel spreadsheet. And of course, this Excel spreadsheet you can download on my webpage. The link you will find in the video description. So we see in the first column, we see the products. And then in the second, the average cost more or less in Kansas. And then in the third column, the prices in Medellín. If you fill in now in the fourth column, where is quantity, the quantity that you personally needs per month, then you fill in there the number and the rest will be calculated. You will see that later on with a sample for someone who has more or less $1,200, $1,300. I made a sample where you see that. Yeah, and on the second page, you see beside the grocery products as well, transportation, other costs of living, the apartment and utilities. Something for the utilities, you see there, Estrato 3, 5, and 6. What does this mean? You know, here in Colombia, the neighborhood is qualified by so-called Estrato. As lower the number is, as lower is also the neighborhood. 6 is the best neighborhood, 0 is the lowest neighborhood. And gas, water, electricity depends always on the qualification of the neighborhood. As lower the neighborhood, as cheaper are also these costs. Therefore, I filled in 3. I wouldn't go below lower than 3 as an expat. 4 and 5 is already really good, and 6 is always the best. Then on the last page, we see then the overview. Everything I will explain on the sample then a little bit more in detail. And then I would like to introduce myself as well, who I am. So my name is Roger Schmidt. I'm a Swiss CPA. I was working for PricewaterhouseCoopers since 2017. I have Autarchy with 2 subsidiaries. The main office, the headquarters is in Medellín, Envigado, and my branch is in Santa Marta. And we support everything what usually an expat needs. So visa application, if you want to constitute the company, accounting, taxes, legal advice. When you buy real estate, then we make title work and so on. On my channel, you get many information for free. And a short telephone consultation is also free of charge. If you want to see the costs exactly, let's say, not Medellín, you want to see all the costs, then I recommend you Numbeo. Numbeo is a web page where you can compare costs of living. You can compare your home city exactly with the city where you want to go wherever in the world. But an Excel spreadsheet is not available on this web page. You just have the prices. But to calculate a personal budget, you need to have this somehow in an Excel. So I made this work for you. It's a free download. You get this completely for free. So let's look a little bit closer. So Medellin becomes the most expensive city in Colombia, but it's also the most popular city, I would say, for expats, also for retirees because of the climate. And if you really want to live in a city but cheap, then I would really recommend you Bucaramanga. Um, then what you also have to take in consideration is the electricity. Electricity is not that cheap here in Colombia, and if you want to live on the coast, where you need an air condition, which costs you a lot of money. So that means the coast is a little bit cheaper in general, but it probably will be compensated by air condition. This is something you have to take in consideration. Also, what is usually not included in all these YouTube videos and so what I have seen about cost of living is taxes. And taxes, it's very difficult to also say. We offer a tax simulation service, costs you about $80, and then we make you personal tax calculation. How much tax would you pay in Colombia? And you cannot take just your gross income and then say, oh, this is the tax rate. So therefore, I will not go deeper here. Go on my channel. There I have also videos about taxes, and there will come soon a video about the three tax models or three cases where I'm looking a little bit deeper on the taxes. And then also, usually not included is the health insurance. The health insurance, if you have a visa here, is you are obliged to have EPS. EPS is a health insurance that you need. It's a public health insurance, and it's about 12.5% of your income. If you're married, if you're a couple, so then you just pay 12.5% on one salary, and the partner can subscribe himself under your contract. This is possible. And as I promised, we are going to look at example for someone who has about 1,300 US dollars. I filled in the column D the quantity of this product, and yeah. Of course, it's something very individual, and it's just an example. When we then go to column A, we see the product. Column B, the cost of Kansas per product. Column C, the cost per product of Medellin. Then column D, what you can fill in the Excel spreadsheet that you can download for free on my webpage. And then column E are the total costs for Kansas for this position. Column F is what the same would cost more or less in Medellin. And then we have in column G the price difference between Kansas and Medellin. And then in the column H, we see it also in percentage. Then finally, we see the total. We see in the column B, Kansas with 2,711 US dollars. It's more or less the same as you would live in Medellin with 1,074 US dollars. And then, let's go back a little bit to the cost of living. Um, in general, I would say this 1,300 US dollars that you probably need to have more or less life. Okay, you don't make whatever any luxury things, but you can live. And then I would say with 1,600, there you already live not bad. Yeah, when you have more than 2,000 US dollars, then I would say you have a good life. So this is such an overall, calculation from me. Of course, when you live a little bit outside of the city, it's also cheaper. Countryside, it's cheaper than in the big cities, of course. For retirees, it's very important that you have also usually access to hospitals. So therefore, I wouldn't go too far away from big cities. And the big cities like Medellín, Bogota, Cali, they all have good hospitals. But for example, already Santa Marta has not so good hospitals. They have hospitals, but for, I would say complicated cases, they have to go to Barranquilla. Cartagena, of course, they also have good hospitals. So also this you would have to take in consideration. Yeah, have a look on my Excel spreadsheet, go to my webpage, download it and fill it out. All the prices in this Excel spreadsheet I took from Numbeo, which is a web page I already explained you. You can compare whatever city you want in the world, and I took all the prices from there. So don't blame me. Yeah, if there is probably one or two prices not exactly what it is, it gives you, I think, the best possibility to make a rough budget, so that you really are aware of the costs when you relocate, because this is something important. When you relocate, you have to have your budget under control. Therefore, I know there are people that say you can live with $1,000 already in Colombia. Yes, you can, but I personally don't want to live with $1,000 in Colombia. This is my personal opinion. Of course, there are Colombians with a minimum salary, and the minimum salary is 350 US dollars around him, and how people live with this little money, I have no clue. Yeah, and then I hope you can make your calculation, and I hope to see you soon in Colombia. I wish you a very nice day.
Feel the rhythm in the air, dance without a care in those cobblestone streets where our hearts will meet.